Hey, Shalom, Shalom, on the start of souls, but giving no praise to Yahweh, Shem, Yahshua, Shem, Kodash, the blood of the apostles, GMS, and honest you brothers doing the work in truth while sincerity. It's a quick one, inspired off a conversation brothers were having earlier on. Brother shared a picture of, the aftermath of Esau dropping the atomic bomb over there in Japan. I forget whether it was Hiroshima or Nagasaki, but you see before you had a lot of buildings, and then after it was just like a desolate wilderness. Right, and then basically I was like, right, that was an atomic bomb. And then when you look into it, right, as this article goes into, an atomic bomb is like 1,000 times, sorry, a nuclear bomb is like 1,000 times more powerful than an atomic bomb, right? So this is A bombs from the Globe and Mail, right? Canadian news article. It looks like, right? It says A bombs versus H bombs, right? Atomic bombs versus hydrogen bombs. What's the difference, right? Now this is an old article, right, from 2016. But which got the information, of course, in terms of the actual, nuclear bomb that's still up to date, right? This is the new announcement on Wednesday from North Korea that had carried out a nuclear test brought to the front lines of global attention, a phrase not heard since the Cold War, the H bomb, right? So it says what makes hydrogen bombs different? It says they're more explosive compared with the atomic bomb, the kind dropped on Japan. And this is the messed up thing, because everyone knows, right, that this devil just dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Everyone knows it, but no one gets, no one does it, no one does anything, no one calls this man, out loud anyway. Apart from starting off from the apostles down, right? No one calls this man the devil, right? He killed several 100,000 people, if not more, right? Because the effects of radiation, etc., right? But he killed more than 100,000 people. I believe it says 200,000 somewhere in this article, which of course once again those are Edomite numbers, so you can't trust them, right? And no one bats an eyelid, right? It says the hydrogen bomb can be far more powerful by 1,000 times or more, experts say. Right, atomic bombs rely on fission, right, or atom splitting, just as nuclear power plants do. The hydrogen bomb, also called the thermonuclear bomb, uses fusion or atomic nuclei coming together to produce explosive energy. Right, stars also produce energy through fission. Right, think what's going on inside the sun. Right, it says in theory the process is potentially infinite. The amount of energy is huge, right? It says more compact hydrogen bombs can be made small enough to fit on the head of an intercontinental missile. That bomb can become compact. So that the bomb can become compact is the characteristic. And so this means North Korea has the US in mind in making this H bomb announcement. Wait, let me. That made no sense. Hydrogen bombs can be made small enough to fit on a head of an intercontinental missile. That the bomb can become compact. Okay, I think they're basically trying to say North Korea is making a threat to the states. Alright, it says what's the same? Both the A bomb and the H bomb use radioactive material like uranium and plutonium for the explosive material. Right, it says what would happen if Ottawa were bombed, right? So I just I wanted to share this graphic. Here's the main reason I wanted to do it on this particular website, right? This particular article, right? It says here's an example of how much more destructive a hydrogen bomb can be than an atomic one, right? So if you look there, you basically got a little bit of there. You can see the little river, you can see the roads, and the blocks, the street blocks. That's the bomb they dropped in 06. 09, you can see that it's a much bigger radius. So this time around, we're hitting that bridge up there at the top, right? And then the 013, right, a bit further than the bridge this time, right? Much larger area, and then bam, look at the difference, boom, right? You can't even you can't even see the bridge in this one. That's how much bigger, right, it is. And this is the 1952 Ivy Mike test as well. So this isn't even like the new one. This isn't like Russia's Satan 2, right? So I wanted to see, You're right. It says which together kill more than 200,000 people. Right. That's and apparently, right. Once again, we know this man's a devil. Right. So you can never test any numbers that he produces. Right. So we get in the scripture, it's Isaiah 54:16, behold, I have created the smith, right, that bloweth the coals in the fire, right? So you had that guy Oppenheimer, right, basically coming out and saying, oh, I've become death, quoting the Bhagavad Gita, I think it's called, right, become death, right? Basically, he was trying to give himself the glory, right, saying, I become the creator, the destroyer of worlds, right? And little did he know that he's just a puppet of the Most High, right? It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, right? This is referring to those ICBM nuclear missiles, right? Basically going into the fact that this is the Most High's invention, it's his creation, right? In fact, there's also a precept in that the Lord hath opened his armory. Let me find that real quick. It's Jeremiah 50:25. Yahweh hath opened his armory, right, and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, right? So that's his righteous anger. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans, right? So, hey, this is this ICBM, all these different missiles and weaponry that he has. Ultimately, they are of the Most High, because the Most High is the one ultimately who's preparing, this great slaughter, this great what's the word I'm looking for? Sacrifice, right? Scripture says that there is sacrifice in Bozrah, right? So carrying on, right? It says, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. Right now, this ICBM, it destroys, man. Let me see, you see. We looked at the graphic. It looked just how much more destructive it is, right? In comparison, down here you can see the bridge. You can't really see too much of the, joining rivers and whatever, what have you, right? Whereas you come down here, where you can't even really see, you can see the river hella small. You couldn't see that mountain range before, right? You should notice there ain't no mountain range in your top left. This time you can see not just the mountain range, you can see on the top left, but you can see all over at the top, right? In fact, I think he even says that, it says a codenamed Ivy Mike detonated by the United States in 1952, right, would devastate the greater Ottawa area and many neighboring communities as well. Right now, you read, like I said before, you read about Russia. Satan 2 can take out the entire one, can take out the entirety of France, right? So these are the weapons that are created by the Lord, right? So yeah, let's grab some of these precepts. I it was right there, precepted in there as well. Zechariah 14:12, right? It's an important one, right? It says as Zechariah 14:12 says, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, right? So there's these nuclear missiles. They're a plague unto this man, right? And what does a plague do? A plague kills, and this is the ultimate plague. It says their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Right? You see that. You see an example of that in that film Terminator, right, where Sarah Connor is standing by the fence and she's getting melted on her feet. Right, and once again, personally, I find this an important one in terms of proving that this plague is talking about these ICBMs, because they're the only thing that can make you melt away as you stand on your feet. You think about something like Ebola, right, where you're melting away, right, from the inside out, right? You lying back on your bed. You're lying on a bed, right? But this says their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes. Their tongue shall consume away in their mouth, right? That's that ICBM, right? ICBM, it's what do you call it? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, right? It's Isaiah 9:5, right? Because every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled with blood, right? So you watch, Game of Thrones, you watch King Arthur, you watch all these older, styled movies where it's people fighting with swords. You hear the tumult, of the people fighting, the clanging of swords, cling, 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 right? And you see, the pictures, right, afterwards, and the cinematography, right, where you see, after the battle, you got men, on the floor, blood all over their armor and all of that sort of stuff, right? But it says, no, 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 this one shall be with burning and fuel of fire, right? So this war, and this goes from all of the different weaponry this man has, right? But that key one is that ICBM, man, right? That ICBM that is going to destroy this man's kingdom, right? It's going to leave America as a desolate wilderness, right? This is Jeremiah 49 and 12, is it? Is that the one I want? Yeah, I'll start from here. Whoops. Right, it says Jeremiah 49:13, right? It says, for I've sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, right? And a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste, right? And that's referring to, America, right? And also it's, what do you call it, in Revelation 8. In fact, let me grab that, because I want, it's also Jeremiah 50 as well, but let me grab this as well. All right, this is Revelation 18 and 8, right? Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth, right? So these things are happening because of judgment, right? And look how much blood has been spilt on that land of America, right? And the people don't care that that blood has been spilled. This is verse 9. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with it, right? So all these different heathen nations, right? They've gone down in bed with America, man. Right? They've been making money from America. They've been living good. You look at them Arabs, right? Dubai and Qatar and all of that. Right? They got all that oil money. That's why they're doing good, right? China, right? They're doing good because they're the sweatshop of the world, selling to who? Selling to these damn, these damn devils over here, right? You look at certain foods, right? The majority of them you wouldn't even realize come from China, man. I was watching that documentary Rotten or whatever, right? They were saying most of the garlic you eat is from China, right? And we also found out something as well about cucumbers. A lot of them come from. I don't know whether it was like the cucumbers over here in the UK or worldwide or whatever, right? But a lot of them come from China, man. Right? So, hey, these different nations have become rich off of this devil, man, right? Off of America, right? It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, right? So why are they going to be doing that? Because they're making all this money, right? It's sort of like how these guys, right? They might hate their job, but then when they get fired from their job, they're crying. Why? Because now they're like, shit, how am I going to get paid? Right? And that's going to be the same thing. These guys might hate America, but they're making money. And when they see her destroyed, they're going to be like, look, where are we going to sell our goods? Right? Everyone knows that America's that land where you just go and people, they just spend, man, they're consumers, right? Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, from 1 hour is thy judgment come. Right, and that 1 hour is a literal 1 hour, right? Because this is the beautiful thing, right? This man has opened up this tab, this crazy tab. Let me read that in verse 5, right? It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, the Most High hath remembered her iniquities, right? So here it is, this all the wickedness that this man has committed, or all the wickedness that this man has done, that the Lord knows it, right? But also all the different different things that they have actually physically reached into the heavens as well. So it's twofold, right? It says, the Most High hath remembered iniquity. So the Most High knows everything that this devil has done, right, from the beginning even until now, right? Because this man's just got an open tab that's just been being added onto, right? That's what is beautiful. It says, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, right? You can't, it took you 400 odd years to set America up, and then 1 hour it's going to be destroyed. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, right? Yeah, so, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, right? Because it's going to be utterly destroyed, right? And I wanted to grab that in Jeremiah 50, right? It's Jeremiah 50, right? I'll start from 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded, right? Referring to England, right? She that bare shall be ashamed, right? Because America came out of England, so it's basically like saying, like a woman giving birth. That's an extension of that, but not extension of that woman. Basically, that's the mother of that child. In America, England is the mother of America, right? It says, behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert, right? It will be completely destroyed. Because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited. Because the Most High is pissed, right? You read, scriptures talk about, the righteous, innocent blood crying unto the Lord, right? How long, right? All the dead Israelites, right, that have died in that land, pleading to the Most High to destroy that place, man, right? Says, because there's a lot of Israelites that have died on that land, man, right? Whether it be the natives, quote unquote, which we know in the scriptures, they, according to prophecy, they will be Gad and Reuben, right? Whether it's the rest of the northern tribes, right? Well, Issachar. Here it is, Issachar, which we know them by their slave names as Mexicans, right? Here it is, they're called illegal immigrants on their own land, right? Only the devil would do that, man, right? It says, because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, right? But it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh, right? So it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. So all of these different nations, right? What's that bow representing? Oh, don't tell me you're doing that already. Right, what's that bow's representing? These ICBMs, right? You read about the bow on the arch, right? That's the ICBM, right? It says shoot at her, right? Spare no arrows. So, but all you different nations that have ICBMs, shoot at her, man. Right? Take this, take this hoe out, right? Don't spare. Sort of like you get them, rich, these films of rich people that it says no expense spared, right? Hey, look, don't spare any arrows, man. Don't worry about how much them arrows cost. Don't worry about how much damage you're going to do. Just shoot them all. And the Lord's going to put the spirit in these different nations to do just that. Right, so for she hath sinned against Yahweh, right? So these things aren't happening, just because, people are jealous of America and want to bring America down. No, 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 no. So these things are happening because of all the wickedness that has happened in that land, right? You read the book of Isaiah 47th chapter, speaks about stand now with thine enchantments, right? This man has done a lot of it's that society which said, because it goes and say, which thou hast labored from thy youth, right? That society was built up on witchcraft, right? Yeah, so let me grab Isaiah 34 to end it off, right? Isaiah 34:1, come now, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people, and let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it, right? For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies, and he hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter, right? Their slain also shall be cast down, their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, right? Just as you see that mushroom cloud, right? The iconic mushroom cloud, right? It says, and all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth from the vine, and as as a falling fig from the tree, right? Giving you an example of how, the trajectory of how it falls. Right, it says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, right? Representing Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom, right? And it says, upon the people of my curse to judgment, right? People of the Lord's curse is the Edomites, man, right? Says the sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys and rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, right? The great slaughter in the land of Idumea, right? So Paul's been going into, this is a great slaughter, right? So this is a great sacrifice that's about to be prepared. America's that sacrifice, right? But hey, Lord's all that was edifying, man. Lord's all you now know, if you didn't know before, right? The difference between an atomic bomb and a nuclear bomb, right? Nuclear bomb being 1,000 times plus more powerful than an atomic bomb. When you can see the destruction that happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? So yeah, Lord's all that was edifying. To the next time, Shalom.